Welcome to another photo album tour. This is my COVID diary, and this picture is a picture of the street that I lived on at the time. It was a very busy street, and there was no traffic when COVID hit. These are the two cameras that I used. I used my iPhone 10R and my Pentax here for most of the pictures that you'll see here in this video. Just a few shots starting out of places that I went. I think this was Subway, I think. Because my dad asked me to go get him a sandwich. Yeah, and they were closed. And this was H&R Block. I was out running errands for my dad because he is elderly and also diabetic. I was really worried about him, so I was out doing all the running around, and seemed like everywhere I went, places were closed. This here is a picture of um, some of the things I used to make masks because there were no masks in the store. So I decided to make some. Extremely thankful that I had the ability to make them. I made I think a dozen for me and a dozen for my father until we were able to purchase some masks. I think it was about a month before we were able to do that. And this is so crazy to me because I have never seen anything like this. This was the line outside of Walmart. Didn't matter what store you went to. I mean, Walmart had just opened. I got there. I got in line at exactly 6 o'clock. I was there about a half hour early. People were lining up. This here, the 6 feet apart sign that nobody listened to. Yeah, we're just gonna jump right into the empty aisles. I couldn't believe how empty the store was. And I've seen that before. I grew up on the East Coast and we've had natural disasters, and you know how it goes. A hurricane comes or a snowstorm and the stores get wiped out. But what was so shocking with COVID was how long it lasted. I think it was like a couple weeks, and the shelves were like empty. And it happened so fast. It was unbelievable. It just goes to show how unprepared people are for emergencies. And I thought this was interesting. This is the arts and crafts section. I went over there to get some sketchbooks, which they still had. And all the canvases were gone, all the paint was gone, and all the yarn was gone. I thought that was really interesting, but nice to see that people were creating during their free time on lockdown. I thought that was nice. And back to my previous thought, with stuff like this, the canned goods aisle being empty, I said, wow, that really just goes to show how many people were unprepared, and the importance of being prepared. If you didn't care before, I hope you care now. This picture here, I'm going to spend a little time on. I All these pictures up to this point I've taken with my iPhone 10R, but this one here, I sticks with me. There's a couple here. This is the toilet paper aisle. There's no toilet paper, and they were at the end of the toilet paper aisle discussing what they were going to do. Um, they didn't know how they were going to get the things that they needed, and it wasn't because of money. It was because they just couldn't get them. And that's the two per item per person that nobody listened to. And this was in the toilet paper aisle. People were just racking up, sending their spouses in, their kids in. And I guess, I mean, I understand, but going back to being prepared, I just couldn't believe like everything was wiped out. And at this time, I was vegan. And I tell you, it felt so good to be vegan because nobody touched, or it seemed like nobody was shopping in produce. Um, I could get rice, I could get dry beans. I was like, wow. Or the big canisters of plain oatmeal, there's plenty of those, plenty of spices. I thought to myself, wow, I'm really not affected by this. This is interesting. Um, I was affected by this though. Almond milk, there, what was there was expired. Um, yeah, so for me, it was a good time to be vegan. I am no longer vegan, but that was a good time to be vegan and clean vegan. So it was so easy just to get whatever it was that I needed to feed myself. My father, on the other hand, became a clean vegan as well, until he could get the things that he needed or wanted, to suit his way of eating, his diet. This is another thing that was interesting. This was the exercise, the part of Walmart where they have the weights and exercise stuff. That was empty. Nice to see, but also very interesting because the gyms were closed. I guess people were trying to find a way to continue to get their workout. This is a picture of me cooking. I we didn't know how to protect ourselves yet against COVID. I did know it was a flu virus, and I did know I needed to keep up my immune system. So I was eating pretty well then. And this is where I started to get bored. And I was taking pictures of anything that I could at different angles, experimenting with iPhone photography. This is the front of the house in the morning, and I thought, the fog that created on the windows from the heat, the radiator on the or the baseboard heater underneath the window, and then the sun coming through looked really cool. I thought it was a cool picture there with my grandma's chair and the light coming through the blinds on the door against the wall and the lamp there. And these pictures I took with my iPhone 10R. I thought they came out pretty nice. Started embracing things that I didn't like or were uncomfortable during COVID. This is one of them. These are the plants. I don't know what kind of plants these are in front of the house, and I can't stand them. But I thought I could take a nice picture, and they look pretty cool in that light. This was taken with my Holga, and this is the other side of the tracks, taken with my iPhone 10R. I also did the editing on my phone. This was shot with my Pentax. I was out hiking at Tobyhanna State Park and just took a picture of the trees. I spent a lot of time outside and it was so cold. And at that time, I really hated the cold. But this is Toby Hanna State Park as well at the lake. But I found that I hate being inside even more. And if I dressed properly, it's really not that bad. This is the other side of the lake, Toby Hanna State Park. And now I'm outside all year round. Cold, hot, rain, doesn't matter. And this is me at Sandy Hook Beach. It was very cold, but I really wanted to put my feet in the sand. I had socks and sneakers out of frame of the picture with me though. And this is the shoreline. I spent a lot of time here during COVID. It was a long ride, but it was well worth the ride. Watched many a sunrise here at Sandy Hook Beach. And that's it for my photo album COVID diary. Thanks for watching.